I am Nisha Dupuis, and this is Finding Legends. We're here to engage with a remarkable communication professional, Nadine McLeod. She's a former TVJ journalist and has won quite a few awards for her human interest features, covering Haiti 6 months after, HIV-infected homeless prostitutes, and the Tivoli incursion. Nadine has undoubtedly been on the front line of some of the major stories in Jamaica. She is now a lecturer at the University of Technology, where she works to mold the minds of aspiring media professionals. She is also on a mission to contribute to making Jamaican an official language. Oh, and by the way, she was my lecturer, so I will be calling her Miss McLeod. This is Finding Legends. Welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us. I have so much respect for your work. You've been able to gain quite a few awards as a journalist, and I feel grateful to have had you as a lecturer. Now I'm curious, why did you become a journalist?
Thank you for that. Well, God has been really good to me, to be honest with you. I didn't start out with wanting to become a journalist. I actually started out here at UTech. I did my first degree here in business administration. I majored in marketing. Okay. I should have gone on to become a marketing guru. That was my dream. It was actually my dream to become a hotel manager, but I didn't get into the tourism and hospitality department because at the time they wanted hard sciences, at least one hard sciences. I didn't pass that. So I thought I would enter the hotel industry through marketing. So I did a business administration degree, and I specialized in marketing. It was at the end of that, my first job ever. I saw it in the paper. It was a newspaper advertisement, and I applied to an independent production firm to become a production assistant. Okay. And then when I started working there, I realized that this was something that I really loved. I love storytelling. I've always done it. Okay. I used to write poems. I was a part of the Edna Manley Poetry Society at one point. Okay. I used to write short stories as a child. And I also realized that this was a job whereby I could wake up very early just to see the sun rise. And it was not a problem, being a late sleeper like me. And that's how you know that you have found your passion. Yes. When things that mattered doesn't really matter in pursuing the job.
I feel that you had the energy to just get up and go.
Right, and that was where my passion began.
Yeah.
I wanted to start in media, having found my love. I didn't get the opportunity to. I started working at the bank as a bank clerk. However, I stayed with the independent production firm part-time, and that was how I transitioned into media. Then we heard about a job at a radio station. I went there to do marketing. I didn't get to do marketing. I became a radio producer, and that is where it all began.
As a budding journalist, though, you face challenges.
Sure.
Your speech coach said at one point that she wasn't able to help you.
Sure.
You had people saying that they didn't believe your voice was fit for broadcasting, and you've managed to do great work, but at the time, you wanted to quit. Why did you decide, you know what, I'm not going to quit, I'm going to go after this by any means necessary?
Well, at the time, it was the worst thing that could have been said to me at that time. Yeah. I mean, I was very young. I was in radio production, and I wanted to transition into reporting, which is a different kind of journalism. Okay. For 3 years, I wanted to do reporting, and I was trying to get into reporting, and I was getting, excuses that there were no vacancies and stuff like that. When I finally heard that the reason for this was because there was a problem with your voice, right? And it so happened that it was a very emotional time for me, but I was called into a meeting and a discussion was had, and coming out of that meeting, I was vanquished. I knew that I could not stay here anymore. I know that this was the point at which I either leave media or I go somewhere else. Luckily for me, I had people who were behind me, close friends, close family who believed in me. And when I told them, they basically laughed and said, after them and Jesus. And we started praying about it, and we started working towards that particular goal. I remember calling my lecturer at the time, Faye Ellington, and speaking to her about it, and she said, "My dear, all you have to do is your drills." So we have a book at Carrimack. So I went on to do media at Carrimack. Okay. Right, and there's a book where you have drills with your different problems. Okay. So one of my problems, and this is a problem that is faced by many people who are native Jamaican Creole speakers, the TH problem.
Yes.
So she told me about the TH problem, and she told me to do my drills, to record myself, and to keep on correcting myself. And I kept on doing my drills. And I also called another media house. I had a friend there, and I asked if there was a vacancy, and he said to me, yes, there was a vacancy for 1 year. At the end of the year, this is a position that was being held because someone had gone on to study, right? Okay. That was Archibald Gordon. Okay. So he was overseas studying, and they wanted somebody for 1 year. And he said, Nadine, this is for 1 year, and that's it. And I said, okay, well, if it's 1 year, as a reporter, then that's fine.
This is at TVJ.
Right, this is at TVJ. So I went there, and the 1 year turned into 9 years. Wow. Right, after 1 year, Archibald came back, he got his job, and it so happened that left, and I applied for the position and got it.
Good.
And that was it.
There was space for you there.
There was space for me.
Yeah.
Adequate, ample space.
Okay. There began your media journey.
Sure.
And you've gone on to do very profound reports. There are two in particular I want to speak with you about. You had the show Business on Back Road, and you went into Port Henderson Road, and you went undercover as a prostitute. We got to see you do the full makeover. I mean, what was that like, being undercover as a prostitute?
It was a story that was considered for about a year. I had a team of people, including people like award-winning journalist Kirk Wright, who's a very, very good journalist. I really respect Kirk. And we were thinking about it for a year. I came up with the idea, and I went to Kirk and I said, Kirk, I really, really want to do this. And he went and he got somebody who could go undercover as a security person, as my kind of bodyguard. And we thought about the vehicle that we were going to use, a covert operation, and all kind of things. So a lot of planning went into it. I wanted to do that because I wanted to tell the story of a marginalized group, sex workers. Because these are women who have families, these are women who are daughters, these are women who are mothers, somebody's lover, somebody's friend. And we look at them as if they're just, a piece of meat, something to be, to be scorned, to be discarded. And we always tell the story of sex workers, Jamaican that is. We always tell the story of sex workers from a window of distant observation. And sometimes to tell the true story, you have to become the being in order to tell the story. So it was an idea that emerged based on that perspective. So we talk about sex workers, we talk about being HIV positive. What makes someone want to become a sex worker?
What did you find out? What did you learn?
We found out a lot of things, a lot of situations. There was one young girl who was waiting on her mother to file for her. Her mother didn't know she was a sex worker. There was one who said that she didn't have to be there, but she chose to be there. But many of them decided to take that route out of economic reasons. They thought there were no other choices, and we spoke to them about things like just walking into the church, and they basically said it's easy for you to say, but it's better for you to give up all of this, all the money I'm earning.
I wonder what you learned about yourself standing there on the roadside in blue lingerie, offering up regular sex packages, or Did you learn anything?
Yes.
About yourself?
I think the most important thing that I learned is that this could be me. This could be my family, and this could be my friend. These people are no different from me. The only thing that separates me from them is choice. The choice that we make.
Yeah. I felt that. Yeah. So that's not the only difficult story that you've been in the front line of.
Well, being a Jamaican journalist, you cannot avoid difficult stories.
You've had a few. 2010, during the Kingston unrest, you were in the middle of a crossfire.
Yes.
Between the Jamaica military and the shower posse.
Sure.
Yeah. What was it like for you being sort of in the center? Was that difficult? There were gunfires.
Well,
you were hiding.
it was a story that you couldn't miss as a journalist. The entire newscast was about the Tivoli, well, what is now known as the Tivoli incursion. At one time, it wasn't known as that. It was the Tivoli operation. It was actually the day of the incursion. I think it was a public holiday, but I remember I should not have been at work. And I was on Facebook, and I realized based on messages what was happening. And I just packed and I went to broadcast house and say, I am present. I am here. Let's do this.
Let's do this. That's your reaction.
Yeah, let's do this. And the late Janice Budd, I spoke to her and I said, I'm supposed to be on leave, but I really want to go out. And she sent out a team of us, and that was it. We got caught in the crossfire.
So you
not really the crossfire. It was a little bit away. It's not as close as it looked, but it was a little bit away. But before that, we were in a dangerous position at the Kingston Public Hospital.
Yes, I saw that.
And we had a few of us, I think. No, I'm thinking that we were in a van. It was about four. It was three of us, two reporters. From my recollection, this is 10 years ago. I could be wrong. I remember distinctly two reporters, myself and Karen Madden, and the cameraman. But there were other media houses, like the Gleaner was there. I don't remember who else. I remember the Gleaner was there. And I remember a photographer, I don't remember if it was from the Gleaner, but one of the photographers decided, because the place, it was a dead zone. Nobody was outside. Nobody was in the yard of the hospital. The hospital was locked up. We were in the van. There were shots outside all around KPH. So the photographer said that he was going to leave the yard of the hospital and go outside to see if anything else, if he could capture anything else. And just as he got to the gate, we heard a barrage of gunfire, and he came back in. So I remember that distinctly. And then we had to leave, and we went down. We went from Kingston, the Kingston Public Hospital, further downtown to King Street.
Okay.
And way down the road, we saw soldiers and police, and they were doing their thing down there. And we were at the intersection. I don't remember the name of the road, but we were in the middle of parade, right? Okay. And we were about to walk towards the police and soldiers when we started hearing gunshots. And we decided to leave. As Jamaicans would say, take yourself.
Yeah.
We decided that it would have been, wise of us to leave.
Okay.
So that was what that was about, basically.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But you've sort of redirected your life's purpose, it seems.
Sure.
Now you are a communication professional.
Yes.
You are a lecturer.
Yes.
And you are advocating strongly for the making of Jamaican an official language. Now, can you explain to us what is the cultural importance of this?
Well, majority of Jamaicans speak Jamaican, and some of them speak English.
Yes.
Majority of them speak both.
Yes.
So we are what you could consider a bilingual country.
Yeah.
However, our official language is English. So I am doing research to find out the impact of both languages on the understanding of radio news. And being part of that research, my work in academia, my work in research has taken me somewhat into advocacy, which is advocating for Jamaican Creole to be considered as one of the official languages. So we'll have two official languages, English and Jamaican Creole.
There are some people who seem to be afraid. Why now? Why this step? Why is it important? What would you say to them?
It has always been important, actually. It's just that the opportunity came for us to do a petition. To petition the government to make a statement on it. So it has always been important, and it is, language is a matter of the heart. So, I mean, if you look at language as a vehicle of communication, right? If you look at language without the discriminatory element, without looking through the discriminatory lens, one which we look through coming from our colonial past, then you will realize that language is basically just a means of communication. And it is just identifying something, something that we all know, that Jamaican Creole and English are both spoken in Jamaica, right? And it is just recognizing that the language which is considered to have low prestige among many people, that language has the same prestige and authority as the official language, the factual official language.
I get that. So I must ask, Miss McLeod, what greater impact do you hope to make?
I continue to stay in academia. I like it. I love teaching adults. I will continue definitely to do research. That's where I see my life work, you know, doing research, right, publishing journal articles, and advocating for language. And of course, that of course will bring you to many places to do other things. But my passion is media and communication. It is just that I am looking at it through the lens of language. Right?
Yes.
So it's media and language. That is my research area. So that's where I see my life working.
Good. I wish you all the best with your endeavors.
Sure.
I hug everyone.
All right.
Yeah. This is Finding Legends Season 1. I am your host, Nisha Dupuis. Thank you for watching. There is so much more that we have to offer. You do not want to miss the dynamic individuals that we will be speaking with on our upcoming shows. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notifications for more videos.